Hello friends, welcome to a new lecture today on PGI previous questions. PGI Chandigarh multiple choice previous questions. First, most accurate method for diagnosis of gastroesophageal reflux disease is. We will see the options. Histological study. Okay, it is most accurate method. That means best method, right? So best method for GERD is 24-hour pH recording and electrical impedance measurement. Most accurate method or the best method is 24-hour pH recording and electrical impedance measurement. Then question number 2. Condition associated with esophageal carcinoma are achalasia. Yes, achalasia is associated with squamous cell carcinoma. Post-cricoid web in the form of Plummer-Vinson syndrome will predispose to squamous cell carcinoma. Skarsky's ring has no predisposition. So, then Patterson-Cayley syndrome is nothing but Plummer-Vinson syndrome, which will predispose to squamous cell carcinoma. Lye ingestion also increases the risk of squamous cell carcinoma. So in this question, achalasia cardia, post-cricoid web, Patterson-Cayley syndrome and lye ingestion are the conditions associated with esophageal carcinoma. Then question number 3. True about Skarsky's ring are. Skarsky's ring contains true esophageal muscle. False. It is concentric symmetrical narrowing of lower esophagus. This is also false. It is true. Concentric symmetrical narrowing of lower esophagus is seen in Skarsky's ring. Skarsky's ring shows concentric symmetric narrowing of lower esophagus. True. It consists of esophageal mucosa above and gastric mucosa below. Actually, Skarsky's ring is present at the junction of gastroesophageal junction. So, definitely it has esophageal mucosa above and gastric mucosa below. Dysphagia is usually to solid foods. True. Because solid foods have larger volume, so it is difficult to pass through narrowed esophagus. Whereas liquids, they can easily pass through the narrowed esophagus. It is associated with reflux disease. It is true. So, Skarsky's ring is concentric symmetrical narrowing of lower esophagus, consists of esophageal mucosa above and gastric mucosa below. Here you see dysphagia is usually to solid foods and associated with reflux disease. Then, question number 4. Correct statement about intussusception in children are all except. So we will see the statements. Okay. First, appendix is the most common leading point of intussusception. False. Then, ileocolic site is the most common site. True. See, in children, the most common site is ileocolic site, not the appendix. Next, usually children present with pain with vomiting, without vomiting. False. In intussusception, the children present with both pain and vomiting can be corrected by air and barium enema. False. Intussusception cannot be corrected by air or barium enema. We should do the surgical approach. Diagnosis is confirmed. Intussusception can be sometimes be corrected by air and barium enema. But mostly you should do surgery, but you can also correct it by air and barium enema. Diagnosis is confirmed by abdominal ultrasonography. True. Diagnosis can be confirmed by abdominal ultrasonography. Then, question number 5. Features of esophageal atresia with tracheoesophageal fistula include drooling of saliva, Yes, there is drooling of saliva associated with oligohydramnios. There is tracheoesophageal fistula, so there is no swallowing. So it is associated with polyhydramnios, not oligohydramnios. It is not associated with oligohydramnios. Option number C. Nasogastric tube cannot pass into the stomach. Yes, because there is atresia, so it cannot pass through the stomach. May be associated with bacterial abnormalities. True. Abdominal distension. True. So these are the features of esophageal atresia with tracheoesophageal fistula. Then question number 7. Features of Patterson-Kelly syndrome are. So in Patterson-Kelly syndrome, features are dysphagia. True. More common in male than in female. False. Actually, Patterson-Kelly syndrome is most common in female than in males. Achlorhydria is associated with Patterson-Kelly syndrome. Treatment consists of dilatation of esophagus by esophageal Bowgies. This is true. So in Patterson-Kelly syndrome is associated with dysphagia, achlorhydria and dilatation of esophagus by esophageal Bowgies. Then question 7. True about esophageal perforation is. Morbidity is mainly due to mediastinal infection. Morbidity is mainly due to mediastinal infection. It is true because in esophageal perforation, the contents of the esophagus reaches the mediastinum and those contents are not sterile. There can be some microorganisms associated with it which causes sepsis and infection. So morbidity is mainly due to mediastinal infection. Then partial tear involving mucosa should be managed conservatively. Yes, partial tear involving mucosa like Mallory-Weiss tear can be managed conservatively. Simple exploration and end-to-end anastomosis is done as soon as possible in all cases. True. Once you do exploration and false. You don't do it in all the cases. In all cases is wrong. In those cases which are unstable, there you do simple exploration. But if they are stable, then you will try for medical management. Spontaneous perforation most commonly occurs in the mid-thoracic esophagus. False. Spontaneous perforation mainly occurs in the lower esophagus. Then serum amylase levels may be high as a result of absorption of serum amylase from pleural cavity. True. Serum amylase levels are high due to absorption of amylase levels from the pleural cavity. Then question number 9. Which of the following is true about Borjeev syndrome? It occurs due to increased intrathoracic esophageal pressure. True. Because of the vomiting against closed glottis, there is increased thoracic esophageal pressure causing Borjeev syndrome. It is most commonly seen in left lateral wall of esophagus. True. Caused by severe vomiting. True. Causes hydropneumothorax has complication. Because of the perforation of esophagus, the air bubbles present in the esophagus and the fluid and food in the esophagus reaches the mediastinum and also the pleural cavity, causing hydropneumothorax has complication. Because in Borjeev syndrome there is chest pain, severe chest pain, so this can be diagnosed or misdiagnosed as myocardial infarction. Thank you guys for watching my lecture. Thank you.